Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just want you to believe in me. I just want you to believe in me. Let's go to the line.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Ahmed Hassanein out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds. Ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Ahmed Hassanein Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Saturday. It's Lions Talk Live. It is a morning show edition, and we've got something to talk about today. We all know there are going to be expectations, perhaps tempered, I should say, expectations for this year's incoming rookie class. But you know what? It doesn't mean some of those kids don't go to the head of the class. Some of them don't have more expectations, more desire, more hype, whatever you want to term it, word of that. We can all probably agree this. Ratledge, he's probably going to push for a starting spot, or at least that's the expectation. Ahmed Hassanein, let's face it, he's got a fan base railing around him. And then, yes, perhaps the biggest one of all the rookie class coming in this year, the Cairo assassin himself, Ahmed Hassanein, he's coming on in, and this kid is off the charts. He's got people talking about him. You have ESPN doing a story just on him that hit recently. So we're going to dive into that, see what it all means. I believe he's got some stuff going on today. We'll dive into that, I'm sure, during the main topic of the day. But let's also say where there's hype, there's probably fire. Where there's fire, there's probably reason, there's smoke. And I think if you watch him as a player, you watch a lot of these rookies as players on the field when they're testing, showing their stuff, showing what they did in college. I think a lot of what he does, Ahmed Hassanein, does translate to the NFL game. And I think there's cautious reasons for expectations to be justified with him. Again, we'll get into this further during the main topic today, but before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything else in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. I take it as a personal favor if you would. We need 18 more subs to hit 13,900, and then obviously we need 118 to hit 14,000. How about that? Also, if you got a half second of time while hitting that subscribe button, reach on over and hit that thumbs up button, the like button. Hit all the buttons while you're at it. We're trying to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. And if you've watched YouTube for anything more than 15 seconds or less, you probably understand all that stuff helps the content creators out exponentially. So be so kind if you're watching and enjoying the content. All right, with all that done, set out of the way. Ooh, one last thing. You see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen. If you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. I'll have a quick conversation with you, try to help you understand what to do, what to not do when trying to look for commercial property, vacant land, new house, old house, anything in between. There's a whole lot of people who try to dig into your pockets when you're purchasing or selling real estate. I'll try to make sure nobody's overcharging you while trying to help point out the rights and the wrongs, the indifferences of properties. I get it. The longer I've done this, most people do not understand how homes are constructed, how people try to hide things, all that kind of stuff. So I'll try to look out for you. All right, now with all that done out of the way, let's get the show rocking and rolling and going and kicking off with 5 headlines now. Also, I want to say big thanks for Hutch Jr. jumping on the show yesterday. Hey, that was kind of last second. Kurt Steele, like I was saying, he was on super secret double probation, assignment yesterday, taking care of some stuff. So we had to go to the bullpen and bring in a fill-in. All right, 5 headlines now. New Lions quarterback already under pressure entering training camp. Fan side story by Kem Yarborough with this one. And there's a whole lot of truth to this. I don't think anybody's denying it. You want to make this Lions team, you better stand out. And Kyle Allen, you know what? He hasn't so far. In his defense, it's only been OTAs, but in noteworthy fashion for any coach, you're paying attention all the time, especially at one of the most premium positions in all of sports. I don't care what the sport is. It's hard to find something more integral to a team's success than the quarterback spot. Kyle Allen, we all know the story. He's a former third-round pick. He's been in the NFL for more than a hot second. He was brought in to compete for the backup number 2 spot on the Detroit Lions team. And in OTAs, he did not do so well. So will that change? Will he have an opportunity to make the team? Let's understand this. He's aware of the situation. The Lions are aware of the situation. The next month and a half, however you want to term it or word it, this is his NFL career. Very realistically, he's at the point in his career where if he doesn't latch on with the team, really stay strong, he might be on the outside looking in. Every year across the NFL, not just with the Detroit Lions, but with the entire league, 33% of the guys are gone because of franchises drafting, bringing in undrafted players. Means somebody's got to go for somebody else to stay. What do you think about Kyle Allen? He's 29 years old. He's got some pretty significant starting experience with 19 games in his NFL career as a starter. Would you feel more comfortable with him, or I guess Hendon Hooker as your backup quarterback? Me, myself, and I, Hooker's been here. He's done that. I get he hasn't started. But you know what? You give him a whole lot of starting experience during the preseason, sort of like you did last year. We'll see what shakes out, but this will be one of the more interesting camp battles for a team that's already been dubbed perhaps the NFL's most talented. And I think you're in a very limited conversation with teams at the top of the NFL from player 1 through 53. Philadelphia Eagles probably should be in that list, in the conversation. Detroit Lions also should be in that conversation for deepest teams. I know yesterday in the 5 headlines now, we had one story from ESPN stating that the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, were number 3 or something like that. I don't personally see that. I think I'd find about 4 or 5 or 29 other teams with more depth from player 1 to the end of the list. But, hey, that was their thoughts, and I know a number of you guys jumped on me about that. But, hey, it's okay to have our own opinions. All right, next to the 5 headlines now, Lions roster preview. Hogan Hatton has never had a bad snap. That's actually a fact. SB Nation story by Max Gerber. So for those who don't know, Lions, thankfully, throughout most of their storied NFL history, have always had a real good long snapper, special team snapper, whatever phrase you want to use with it. Hogan Hatton was kind of a surprise, undrafted free agent rookie, signed with the team. Most of you probably remember Scott Daly. It held it down for a few years. There really wasn't any kind of expectation that Daly was going to lose the spot. Then Hogan Hatton emerged, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more movable, could do some stuff, actually performed in downfield coverage after the snap, trying to get tackles, etc. A bit of an anomaly, but he stepped in last year in 2024, 17 games, 17 starts, 143 special team snaps, 5 tackles, 0 botch snaps, special teams pro football focus grade of 62.6. And yes, that was one of the better ones for a long snapper in the NFL. Nobody often suspects that an undrafted rookie is actually going to be one of the best players at that position in the entire NFL. Give the Lions and their scouting department, the coaching staff, everybody in the world a lot of credit with this, because it seems like we talk about it almost now on a yearly basis during the Brad Holmes MCDC tenure. You're always finding diamonds in the rough, and that will be a part of the main topic of the day. Jake Bates didn't cost us anything for draft capital to acquire, and while I won't say he's the best kicker in the NFL, he's probably, if he continues his ascension upwards, which you could see throughout last year, he did. You know what? He might be one of them. I'm around St. Brown. If he's not one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, then I don't know what's going on here. And again, for kind of a middle, late round pick, and you're seeing that consistently year in and year out. The Lions find guys who are dang good, and you find them in unsuspecting places. It does appear Hatton is going to stay with the team, although I guess you could say if somebody else comes in and beats them out, they win the spot. But Hogan Hatton, you know what? We got a real diamond in the rough there. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions plan to deploy star running back in new ways, SI.com. Story by John Macarone. So we did get a little bit of wind on this yesterday. Hutch Jr. came in and talked to us about it. It sounds like, and we've been speculating on this, let's be fair, since he was drafted, that Gibbs was going to be used, Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be used as a running back / wide receiver / I don't know, everything else, man. He might be blitzing the quarterback at times. whatever it is, he is multi-talented, incredibly athletic, and I don't think there's anybody, even if you're a Detroit Lions hater, that could look at Gibbs and say, yeah, he's not one of the most athletic players in the league. Lions, it sounds like John Morton wants to use that to their advantage. We've been talking all off season, and if you really want to turn back the wheels of time, probably since last year, the Detroit Lions have some real depth at the running back spot. And let's face it, Gibbs, Monty, Montgomery, they're talented guys on their own. I think you're going to see, and Hutch Jr. talked about it yesterday, this story talks about it, I think you're going to see a whole lot of old school pro formation sets for the Lions. 2 running backs split behind the quarterback. Well, some of them are going to be wheel releasing, flat releasing, however you want to put it, and they're going to be used in the passing game, while the other guy is going to go up the middle, probably either in blocking or running the ball. Jared Goff excels at play action pass, and I think if you have the split backfield, this is just my opinion as a coach, it's just more difficult because you're forcing the defense to keep 3 backers, sometimes 4 backers on the field, or at the very least bring a safety up. If you constantly are crowding the line of scrimmage with 7 to 8 guys, and you look at Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Isaac Tesla, Tim Patrick, Sam I.M. Laporta, and whoever else you want to throw on that list, you only have so many guys that could effectively keep up with them pressing, jamming, or even if they have to drop and give them a little bit of a zone coverage, they're going to do a great job in those scenarios. I think the Lions are going to take a ton of deep shots this year. I think most of you guys agree with that, which means having running backs that can release up into the flats or go up the middle and release in a curl. You're just going to put more and more stress on that opposing defense. I can't wait to see this. I think Gibbs is going to excel at it. He might be, in my opinion, and he's got to prove it still, but he might be the best running back in that regard we've seen since Marshall Faulk. If you guys weren't old enough to watch The Greatest Show on Turf and Marshall Faulk in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was a wide receiver / running back, and he just caused mass hysteria on opposing defenses. You could not put a linebacker on him. More often than not, you couldn't really put a safety on him because the safety would get trucked over if they came up to press him. He's multifaceted, and I do really appreciate the fact that John Morton's going to apparently unleash him in more and more ways. All right, went on too long with that one. Training camp preview. Who steps up in Aleem McNeil's absence? ? Detroit Lions on SI.com. Story by Christian Bohr. It's a great question. Well, I think most of us assume the rookie Tyleik Williams is going to step up and take that spot, but is he? If you look across the Lions, we are gifted to have, I would say, as many as 6 really quality defensive tackles, maybe even more than that, on this roster currently. So who do you think, Dude Crew? Step up in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on this. Who do you think is day 1, week 1 starter in Green Bay at the defensive tackle spot for Aleem McNeil? Is it going to be Tyleik? Is it going to be Lopez? Is it going to be, Adams? Is it going to be Levi Onwuzurike? You get it. There's a whole lot of options. Is it going to be Broderick Martin? Man, wouldn't that be something? But let me know your thoughts in the comments section. McNeil, it does sound like he'll be back, in my opinion, from everything I'm hearing, late October, maybe middle October. I really do think it's going to be somewhere between late October, early November, maybe best case scenario, middle of October. But anyways, while he's out, who do you think steps in and who do you think does what across that defensive line? I think Hutch is going to be in as a starter day 1. DJ Reader. Beyond that, it's all going to be speculation until we see it on the field. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions have the NFL's best secondary heading into 2025-26 DTAP wire. Well, let that sink in. 2-3 seasons ago, something like that, Lions secondary, I think it would be safe to say, was not great. You go back to that San Francisco 49ers game for the right to go to the Super Bowl. If the Lions secondary makes 1 or 2 plays in that second half, you could probably even argue in the first half, we're in the Super Bowl. I can't even remember the guy's name. He's not here anymore. He dropped 2 interceptions in the first half. The guy who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers got into trouble, ran from the police and everything. Cam Sutton. Thank you, guys. He dropped 2 would-be interceptions. Think if he holds on to those in the first half, it might not have been a 17-point deficit at the half. It might have been 24, maybe even 30, because the Lions were trucking. The 49ers had no answer. Second half, we all know about the dropped interception off the face mask that ended up being a 50-some yard gain, the whole shebang bang. And there were, to be fair, a number of other plays. There's a lot of other things you can pick apart in a tough loss like that. But in regards to Lions secondary, look at how much it's evolved since that point in time. You look at the starting lineup, and let's not even worry about the safeties. We all get it. The safeties are among the NFL best, and Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. But just look at the cornerback room. Look at the guys who are starting, and look at the guys who are backing up, who are going to be pushing to be starting. Is there a better team in the NFL when it comes to the secondary depth? The starters, backups, the whole shebang. I think we've got some of the best athletes out there. We've got some of the best developmental pieces, and there might be a real opportunity for some of these guys to make names for themselves across the NFL, and they're probably going to move on and get paid. Lions might even be asked to ship some of these guys off at the right price. Somebody might want some of those guys. We talked about it earlier this week. Avonte Maddox, he's going to be your backup, your number 3, Ife Melifonwu safety. He's also a dang good cornerback. You look at Ray Straw, who all reports suggest he's fully healed. He's developing. He's going to be pushing somebody to start. Is he going to be able to do it and overtake, say, Amik Robertson? Probably not. At least I would think not. Or DJ Reed or Terry Arnold? Probably not. But you know what? He's going to be pushing for it. And you know, with this coaching staff, doesn't matter what they think. If you're the best player, you're going to be out there. Terry Arnold is probably one of the NFL's biggest suggested year 2 guys to make a leap. So that's secondary. It'll be interesting to see what Kelvin Shepard does with it. I think we love to play man-to-man the last few years. I think we're going to play a lot more this year while sending the house after the quarterback. I think the other team's quarterback is going to go down. He's going to go down hard, and he's going to go down often. All right, let's see how much the secondary can back up that statement by me. With all that done, said all the way, let's get this on over to the main topic of the day. He is known as the Cairo Assassin. He's known as a lot of things. You know what? He's also known as being a roughly 6'2", 270-pound. I mean, depending on which weight scale you look at. I've seen some reports at 260, some at 270. You get it. He is the prototypical Detroit Lions defensive end. Everybody loves this kid from the second he got on front of the camera, started talking to Rich Eisen about a week before the draft. Then when he got drafted, it's part of today's intro that we put up there. You can see him talking to MCDC himself, saying he was going to die for him on the field. And you know what? There are more and more reports suggesting he's actually added already this offseason about 3 to 4 pounds of muscle. Let that sink in. If that's accurate, that means he's into the 270s more than likely area. And that's a pretty good big defensive end. You already know about his 40-yard dash time. It's one of the better ones in this year's NFL draft for a defensive end. So he's added size. He's got some speed. We all know he's got the personality. He's got the know-how. He's got the grit. Everything you want to throw out there. From Egypt himself, he's going to come in here as the first player ever from that country to play in the NFL, get drafted. But what are your expectations for him? You have everybody and their mother jumping on board with this kid. I'm here to tell you at least what is being reported out of Detroit, and that is this kid is not going to play like a 6th rounder. We talked about it earlier during the 5 headlines now. Brad Holmes finds diamonds in the rough everywhere. I know a lot of you would say James Houston wasn't really one. He was a one-hit wonder, one-year wonder, but I do think that broken ankle / leg probably altered his career. If that doesn't happen, would he have been someone we were talking about as a diamond in the rough? Probably. Maybe he would have maintained his rookie success, but we all get it. He would have been productive or more productive. Now you talk about Miles Frazier, another late-round pick with expectations, some conversations coming out of Detroit. He might push some of those camp battles for the guard spots. I don't think he's going to overcome Christian Mahogany or Ratledge, but one never knows. Maybe if Ratledge is the starting center, maybe then Frazier can kind of emerge as a front runner for the right guard spot. Brad Holmes finds diamonds in the rough all over the place. Hogan Hatton we were talking about. Now, the Cairo Assassin himself, Ahmed Hassanein. What are your expectations for him? You can see about 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that, there was a video of him working out, putting up over 400 pounds, reps, etc. He's got the power. He's got the personality. He's got the desire. He's got, the hustle. Maybe that's the word. I don't want to use grit all the time, but he's got the hustle about him. So what are your tempered expectations? What's your floor for this kid going into his rookie year? What's your ceiling? Me, myself, and I always try to defer to people more in the know. And here's what we know. You hear the coaches when you talk about them. And this is from Kelvin Shepard, MCDC, and all of them. Defensive line coach, whatever, Williams, everybody. You know what? You can see the look in their eyes when they're on camera and some reporter brings it up to him. Brent mentions his name. I get they're trying to keep the hype train down because let's face it, he's got one of the bigger hype trains for any rookie in the NFL, let alone a guy drafted in the latter part of the draft. With that also being said, I like to pay attention to Vegas because you can say whatever you want about Vegas. They spend more money on research analysis than anybody. Why? Because they don't build those casinos on losing. They build them on winning. So they want to have every bit of information they can. The fact that they've even mentioned this kid, this late round pick, as somebody potentially in the conversation for Defensive Rookie in the Year, and no, I don't think he's going to win Defensive Rookie in the Year, but the fact that they have him listed up there means enough of those guys that they trust to win them money have come back to them and said, hey, this kid's got something. He might actually be up there. So let that sink in. Billions and trillions and gajillions of dollars are made on making sure you're wrong on that bet. And the fact that they have him listed in Vegas, if you want to go to MGM or whatever the sports booking places are, you can find his name up there. And it's not like 1 out of 500 and he's number 500. He's in the top 20. So the fact that he's top 20 from Vegas, what's that say to you? What expectations should we really have for this kid? Do you think in the preseason, if he goes out there and just gets like 29 quarterback, sacks or whatever in the preseason, what do you think that's going to do to his regular season expectations? I don't know what to make of it. Here's what I do know, just from a selfish coaching standpoint. I love everything about the kid. I love everything about the average Lions draft pick because of how they're wired mentally on top of their physical skills. There ain't many dudes on planet Earth that are roughly 270 pounds that can run the 40-yard dash in 4.6, 4.7 seconds and that don't take plays off. That's one thing I think most defensive linemen, if you talk to them off the record, the mic off, the recorder off, or whatever, they would probably admit, 15 to 20% of the plays, they can't go full, balls to the wall because they're winded. This kid, do you think anything about him tells you that he's going to take 5% of the plays off, let alone, 10 to 15. And 10 to 15 isn't that much, to be honest. But this kid, if he's part of a rotational piece, my expectations only, I think his rookie year, if he can get 15 to 18 snaps a game, that's a huge win. Because if he's doing that motor, if he's out there grinding, if he's out there flying around after the running back, the quarterback, whoever else, that's a pain in the butt for an average offensive lineman to deal with. Because every time he's coming off the field, somebody else is coming in fresher. When he comes back in, he's putting it all out there. All right, Duke Crew, go to the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on him. But I'll say this. I do anticipate he's going to get somewhere between, oh boy, way too early to give a prediction, but I'm going to say I think he's going to get somewhere between 3 to, we'll say 6 sacks this year. Would you be okay with that? Do you think that's a big win? If he gets more than that, then great, man. It is the coup de grace. You've won it all by getting this kid out there. All right, let me get over to you guys in the comments section and see what you guys have to say. Probably a little bit shorter show today just because Jen has informed me we've got to go to the farmer's market. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride. Woo! And back at you, JDC. Morning all, and always good to see you, JDC. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan, and the ever-loving Duke Crew. And same to you, Daz. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal morning. At JDC, Motor City Duke Crew, you got to love it. You got to love it indeed. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. I'm a believer. Woo! I am too. And, if I had to rank my expectations for the rookie class, oh, boy. I'm going to go with Williams, just easier. Number one overall pick. I'm going to put the most weight on him. The team's shown that. The scouting department's shown that. I do think he's probably going to start for Lee McNeil. Beyond that, though, Tesla, I've said to you guys before, I think he, middle of the year, latter part of the year, I think that's when he'll make his move or his ascension upwards. Injuries could always change that, or maybe I could just be flat out wrong. Maybe he's just ready from day one. But I do think with Ahmed, I think he's probably going to break into the snap counts earlier versus most rookies just because of the position and, again, how he's wired. I think he's got a lot going for him. All right, Robert, greetings and salutations, and as always to you, France, I can't wait to see how all the rookies do this year, but Ahmed is going to be one of the biggest players of interest. Yeah, 100%. People are talking him up, hyping him up. I love everything about him, but to be fair, I love everything about the rookie class. I haven't found anything bad on any of them. I know until the Hun is, really enjoys Kennelly, the kid from Grand Valley. I think if he's got time to develop, you've got a real weapon there. I'm just not sure if he's going to be given enough time to develop, at least here, because of all that depth in the secondary. Would you want to keep somebody who's probably going to take a season or two to really kind of get it under his skin, how to be an NFL player? Or do you going to keep somebody that he can come in right now? And with the depth of the team this year, I just think it's tougher for someone like Kennelly to stick around. But who knows? I've been wrong before. Maybe they'll keep him. He's got size, man. He's got heck of a range. All right, Big Daz, the best Lions content on YouTube. Thank you very, very much for that. The Duke Crew shows up every day. Oh, yeah, along with the greatest host. Woo! I'll take that, and thank you very much for that. Robert, peptides for all, it will change your life in a good way. Yeah, I know I try not to talk about them too much, but to be fair, I can only tell you my experiences since Jen's basically introduced them to me. And yeah, I know I have a doctor's appointment Monday. I will be cautiously optimistically curious to see what kind of results they've had in the last month or so since the last bit of blood work or whatever. All right, Johnny L., good morning, folks. Back at you, Johnny. Hopefully you're doing better, my friend. Bobos, how you feeling, Johnny? Inquiring minds want to know. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Johnny, you good? Question mark. Let's get this season here. Exclamation point. 100% like that. Johnny, not feeling the greatest. Well, hopefully you are feeling better today than you did yesterday. Let's go with that. Big Daz, hope Ahmed busts out strong and keeps the hype going. Me too, my friend. The preseason, I'm going to want to watch all this rookie class. And I know I've just talked about Kennelly, but I do want to see him, how much he can develop and how quickly. Because finding physical athletes like him or Ahmed Hassanein or Ratledge or Isaac Tesla, they're rare. And I know some of us are still throwing stones at Broderick Martin. I get it. But let's also be fair. He is an incredibly physically rare person. If he does flip that light switch on, Lions are going to be crazy deep at defensive tackle because Broderick Martin, he's a freak athlete. There are less than I'd probably say less than 1.5% of planet Earth that have his physical strengths and his athleticism. And you could probably go through that with Ahmed Hassanein, Tesla, or whatever. If you make it to the NFL level, a big chunk of it is going to be the athletic parts. Now, if you can add the emotional component too, you've got a real diamond in the rough. All right, JDC, Puff, woo, coffee and Lions Talk Live. Got to love that every morning, right? Just greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. That hype is going to explode if this boy does anything highlight reel worthy in the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, if he comes out, and to be fair, my expectations for both teams, it's going to look pretty dang rough. You're asking both teams to come out there on maybe 4 or 5 practices and perform well. I think there's about a 0% chance either team's starters or expected starters are out on the field. It's probably going to be 3rd or 4th or 29th string guys out there trying to prove themselves, right? Trying to earn some respect. But if Hassanein gets out there and, destroys the quarterback a few times, I can only imagine the next morning show is going to have to be about him. Robert Dan, can you please get Johnny Gaz on the show? He's a, quote, Duke Crew favorite. Yeah, what was it, a week ago he was on? Something like that, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think the big part with Johnny, it's just, his work schedule and then his kids' schedule because, he's a dad. He's got some younger kids. They do baseball and everything else. So a lot of times when I do ask him to come on, it's just, hey, he's got to go be a dad first. And I get that and I respect that, man. Robert, JDC rocks, and he rolls. I concur. Big Daz, I think Tesla could be something special. Also, a little worried about the middle 3 on the O-line. I get that. I think there's going to be a lot of questions about the basically the offensive line going into the season. And while I do think there'll be some learning opportunities for him, I do think we're going to be way more athletic, mobile, and maybe even stronger overall. I don't know about the strength, but it's possible. All right, JDC is laughing. I'm down with that. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I think Ahmed Tesla will be the right biggest impact rookies this season. All right, I think they could potentially, if I understand right, they will be amongst the bigger impact rookies for the Detroit Lions. 100%. Moody, cheer up, Sleepy Jane. All right, I'm down with that. Yeah, it's early in the morning. Maybe have your morning Mountain Dew. Big Eddie, I really like that photo in the thumbnail. Might have to steal that one from me, Coach. Go ahead, man. Go right ahead. I think it's a real good photo of Ahmed Hassanein, and yeah, you can see the emotion on his face. JDC, gotta love the monkeys. Hey, we're the monkeys, right? Bo, then I saw her face, and now you are a believer. Clark, yo. Has there ever been a 6th-round pick with higher hopes? Ooh, that's a good question. The best 6th-round pick I can think of in NFL history, and I'm sure I'm missing a gajillion of them, would be, Terrell Davis for the Denver Broncos, went into the Hall of Fame as a running back, and everybody thought he was too slow for the NFL, this, that, and the other thing. The guy was just a monster. In regards to the Detroit Lions, to be fair, throughout their history, they've hit on some pretty good late-round picks. Has there been anybody with more hype than Ahmed Hassanein? I don't know, man. Let's face it, it is growing almost on an hourly basis. Michael, what can it mean? We'll find out, my friend. That's inquiring minds want to know. Drake, what about Frazier? Question mark. Don't forget that rookie. No, I have it. I think he's got a lot of good players ahead of him. Doesn't mean he can't supersede them, but he's going to, I think, have a little bit more of a battle getting on the field. Michael is laughing. Robert, Detroit Lions season is almost here. Our team will be so different. We will surprise many teams through grit and effort. I concur with your assessment of the situation. Johnny O, I think I'm just going to listen in tomorrow. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Listen in and have a good time, man, and rest up. I'm just going to listen today. Hey, listen away, my friend. Listen away. Feel up. Rest up. 5 fingers ready. Hutch Jr. talked about Gibbs being flanked out yesterday. How many yards will he possibly have this season? I think Gibbs, and I know Hutch talked about it. I know we have the 5 headlines now. I just think Gibbs, the running backs, like Vaki. Last year, there were a lot of people that weren't happy with the Vaki pick, Sion Vaki, because he never really got on the field, or at least not much, right? But I think he kind of falls into the Gibbs conversation with Gibbs can be flanked out, either motioned out or on the snap. He can run some different routes into different packages out on the field, and you're going to force opposing defenses into some bad situations. I know Vaki from college because he destroyed USC one particular game where he literally had like 200 some odd yards receiving and then a bunch of yards rushing. Vaki is multi-dimensional. He will be used a lot like Gibbs will be. How many yards will he get? Oof. I could see Gibbs ending up the year, assuming he gets at least 50% of the snaps, somewhere in the, we'll say, 1,400 to 1,800 range, because that's receiving and rushing. He's, I think, going to have a monster campaign. Henry Moore, happy Thunderstorm Day to you, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team! Exclamation! What a thunderstorm podcast, a thundery podcast, excuse me. What a rainy day to be a Lions fan. Woo! Crack, boom! I'm down with that, and hopefully you're enjoying the fireworks outside from the thunder. And always happy to see you there, Henry. Susan, what do you got? Gibbs might need more of the workload this year. I'm not sure if they'll do that just because they want to keep as many of the running backs fresher. With that being said, I do think the Lions have 4 strong running backs. So if you wanted to rotate them more, you could do that. If you wanted to limit somebody, you could also do that. If you want to give more, it's really going to come down to what do they want to do with them. 18 games is a long season, and I think that's the expectation, that we'll play 18, maybe more or whatever, and see what he can put up. All right, Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Quitting. Greetings, salutations. Ahmed Hassanein is about to be unleashed by this team. I agree with that. I think he will be. I do think it'll take time for him to develop like any rookie, but I always try to say halfway through the season, that's when rookies start to really figure it out. It's also where they can hit walls. Terrion Arnold, I think if you took out the first 7 games of his career and just judged him by the second half of the season, you would say, yeah, totally a first-round pick, worthwhile, maybe even should have been drafted earlier. But we all get it. The first, couple games, he's playing he was facing Cooper Kupp on opening day. That's your first assignment, a healthy Cooper Kupp. And he had, 30 catches on TA. But Kupp even said it. He thought he did a great job against them. It's just a tough way to get introduced into the league. All right, Bo, let's see, 2,000 yards for Gibbs. I'll go with that. So small. I can see that happening. Bo, Miles Margaret, greetings, salutations, Lion Pride. You got to always have the pride, right? Madly Hassanein, hi, and good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Ahmed getting married today. Hey, congratulations to him. Hopefully he has a phenomenal day. Go enjoy the blessed day. So blessings upon you all. Phil, good morning. And back at you, Phil. Looks like you caught a big new fish. Michael, tell him congratulations. 100%, 100%. Bo, congratulations to your son, Medley. There you go. Tori, congratulations to Ahmed and your family, Hassanein Medley. There we go. Detroit fans, please wish Ahmed Hassanein good luck in his new life and career. We will do much of that throughout the season, I suspect. Steve Rogers, I'm sure the new crew is rooting him on. I concur. Bo, no doubt. Exclamation point. Michael, thumbs up. All agreed. Pat, which rookie makes the biggest impact, though? Ooh. I'm going to go with Ratledge, I guess, as far as impact, because I think of his position. If he does start, he's going to play basically every snap out there. And nothing against Tyreek Williams. I think he'll be more rotational. Even if he starts, you're going to see him on the field, I don't know, 50% of the time. So Ratledge, in my guess or estimation, since he'll be out there typically 90 to 100% of the time, he'll have the bigger impact. Phil, absolutely, in the state of Michigan, is in love with Ahmed. I agree, very much so. Hookadoo, morning, Duke crew, one pride, Mr. Hassanein. He is going to give her a Super Bowl ring, as the wedding ring. Oh, yeah. Well, we better get to winning that Super Bowl real quick here. I think he's on the couple hours march. Brett, congratulations to Ahmed and his bride-to-be. Best wishes. I agree. Hopefully they have a great day at the wedding. Hookadoo, and the best wishes to the new bride and groom. I concur. Gary, good morning, Duke crew. Back at you. Brent, getting closer to the Hall of Fame game when we unleash the Egyptian lion. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. I concur. Johnny, congratulations. All right. Hookadoo. Morning, Miles Meyer and Brett DeWitt. The Grit Brothers, one pride. We got them on the show, don't we? Hassanein Medley, by God, this year will be his year. Give his wife Super Bowl ring. Let's hope he can do that. I think we're going to do that this year. Let's make it a super ring for her. Miles Meyer, Grit Saturday Bras, Hookadoo, Brent DeWitt, I concur. Mary Smith, good morning all. Back at you, Mary. There's always something about Mary. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke crew? What's up, Man of Steel on super secret assignment? Stephanie, I'm liking everything about Ahmed Hassanein. Yeah, hard to find anything to fault with him. Brett, morning, Hookadoo, Miles Meyer, Grit wins, exclamation point. Bo, hey, Professor, you gotta love the Professor being on the show. Central Scrutinizer, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke crew. Back at you. Kurt Steele, Bo Booth, good morning. Trina and Christina Conway, good morning to the Lion team and family and everyone. Everyone have a safe and blessed day this Saturday. Woo! Back at you, and thank you for the kind words. Kurt Steele, Boss Up Ball Up, will return on the 21st, just in time for training camp. Gotta love it indeed. Brett, salute Kurt, Man of Steel, the Man of Steel indeed. Brian, good morning, Duke crew. Back at you, Brian. Kurt Steele, Brett DeWitt, and there we go. Rocket, Coach Rock, good morning. All just listening into the thunder this morning. And it sounds like a bunch of you guys are getting hit with some rainstorms for sure. I've said it since draft day. Ahmed Hassanein was going to be a shining star for the Lions. I think that star is only beginning to rise. Johnny L. Rockham, where do you live? We'll find out. Hookadoo, morning, Man of Steel. Kurt Steele, Hookadoo, good morning. Coach Rock, don't need Allen on the team. All right, we'll keep him off the team. Miles Mark, good morning. Rock, Kurt Steele, there we go. Brent, I'm still hoping we sign Bryce Perkins. Yeah, I can get that. If Kyle Allen is the answer, you're asking the wrong question. Ooh, I see what you did there. Bobo, we had the mule for a long time. We did. Don the Muleback. Yeah, death taxes and Muleback. I remember how the bus driver for the Detroit Lions, and this is for 20 years. Everybody was a long snapper trying out during training camp. We'll just look at him and tell him and basically just can try to goad him and just say, man, you might as well leave right now. You're not making this team. We got Muleback. And, eventually he did retire, but then he became a part of the coaching staff. Gary, morning crew, back at you. Brent, morning, Gary. Keith, what is the latest update regarding Zadarius Smith? Nothing new officially. It's still my anticipation he's going to resign probably right as camp is beginning, but we're getting pretty dang close, aren't we? So Brad Holmes has come out and said they've made him an offer. It's just up to him to accept. It seems to be the vast majority of people are thinking Zadarius just wanted the summer off for multiple different reasons. So I'm hoping he's back sooner versus later. I'd say, Day, hey, haven't seen you in a hot second. How about we call Ahmed Hassanein the Egyptian magician in honor of the Jerky Boys? Hey, man, I haven't seen their shows in a long time, but hey, we could call him that too. He's got a lot of good names. Cynthia, Mr. Hassanein, congratulations and best wishes! Exclamation point. I believe in Ahmed Hassanein Woo! Go Lions. Mellow yellow, first red. All right, I'll take all that. Shop the BTG. Good morning, coach. And let's go Lions. Back at you, my friend. Good to see you in the chat. Jennifer, morning. Oh, Mark, and back at you, Jennifer. Mark, I think Lopez is going to show us all the guy has heart and will thrive with the coaching staff that marches him. There we go. And I think we've got a ton of depth on that defensive line. Now, how do you use it? How do you Scooby-Doo it to get the best out of it? Let's leave that to the coaches. Phil, if you've seen Aleem, he's lost a lot of weight. He has. Will be interesting. Yeah, he slimmed down, I think, to partially help the recovery process of the knee. And I've also speculated, we'll see if there's anything to it, that they might play him as the big defensive end from time to time. Let's face it, Aleem, the dream, has got some wheels. He's got some athleticism. And, he was never the biggest, as far as weight-wise defensive tackle in the league. So if he's dropped, let's just say to 280, 285, he's probably gotten a little faster, takes some stress off that knee, and maybe gives you a pass-rushing defensive end. Just a thought there, which could maybe lead to the idea that maybe the Lions are going to play a lot more 3-4 defense this year. All right, Coach Rock Lopez has been sure under the radar, looking at him, stepping in for a lead. He seems to be the lost free agent we signed. Yeah. And again, if there is any kind of truth to us playing more and more 3-4, if there is any possibility for some of these guys to move out to the big defensive end position, Lopez's emergence in the middle, same with the Broderick Martin or other people, would make some sense. Brett Levi or Lopez week one? That's a big question there. And yeah, one we'll have to see get answered. Hassanein Madley, I think, thanks all Detroit fans for supporting him and cheering him on and wishing him good luck. And I very appreciate all of you. Thank you very much again. God bless you all. Go Lions. Hey, go have a great time, my friend. Go enjoy the wedding. Xavier, greetings, salutations, everyone. Exclamation point. I think rotating defensive tackles will help. Yeah, and we've got about 6 or 7 guys we can rotate in there. Server, good morning, Coach, everyone. Same to you. Coach Tanya K. Hey, Coach, and my Mountain Dew crew family, exclamation point, enjoy your day. Happy Saturday. And same to you. Mark GT, I can think of 2 roster spots to start the season that will be open for McNeil and Rodrigo, who will be on the injured list. Are there any others? Not that I can think of, but maybe I'm just not thinking of them yet this early morning. Silver, go Ahmed, exclamation point. I hear his nickname is the Assassin. I like that. Yeah, the Cairo Assassin or Egyptian Assassin. I think we can come up with a lot of different nicknames before now in the start of the season. Bo Tanya, I hope court went well. Yeah, I know you were stuck in court. Hopefully you got at least today off, I would think. Coach Rock, good morning. Milesmar, Hoogadoo. Coach Tanya, did you get the Bears fan throwing in jail yesterday? We'll find out if she threw him under the bus. There, Brett is laughing. Silver, wasn't Jack Tatum called the Assassin? I don't remember that offhand. Boy, that's a heck of an analogy. I'd love to have a Tatum on the thinking the other day they would put him in jail by midseason. Could be accurate. Big D morning crew, exclamation point. Woo! Can't wait to watch the Passion Assassin in action. Oh, man, you're going to get me tongue-tied twisted there. Coach Rock, Johnny L. live up near Gaylord area. Hope they found what's causing all of your issues. Yeah, 100% there. Hopefully they get you right as rain. Mary Smith, Mr. Hassanein, we're glad to have your son here in Detroit and wishing him a great year with the Lions. Go Lions. 100% indeed. Exit 8. Good to see you, my friend. I second the Egyptian magician. He will maul old offensive tackles like a mountain cat. Ooh. Detroit Lions, mountain cat. Got it. Poke them in the eye with his saber. There you go. He can go water boy. Captain Insano shows no mercy. Hassanein Madley. To Mr. Silver, the Assassin is not nickname. I think they want to say Hassanein. All right, we'll go with that. Big D, 11 out. Wish we could hear you pronounce it, Mr. Madley, so we can know exactly how to say it. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Let's say, Day, if Hassanein somehow doesn't pan out, I'm confident it's saying it won't be in front of lack of effort or desire. Yeah, if he doesn't work out, to your point, Day, I do think it will be just from something we can't foresee. Because the passion's there, the effort's going to be there. Those things he can control, and I think he has those things in droves. Big D, who else thinks we should have Mr. Madley on the show someday soon? I'd be down with that. Right, heard Ahmed's being turned down requests from podcasts because he's locked in, studying the playbook. Love his focus! Exclamation point. Oh yeah. I gotta imagine just about everybody's trying to get him on there. But man, you're a couple weeks from training camp. I know some of the guys are getting in their final bit of vacation before things get real. They probably don't want to deal with any of the distractions, etc. Silver Server Ahmed married today? Question mark. Good for him. Exclamation points. Praying for him. The only thing that might be a little drained by the beginning of the training camp, but others say it'd be invigorating. I'll go with all the above. Phil, I'll leave it to the team to decide where Ahmed lands. He's part of the team. Yes, indeed. Go with and trust with the coaches. Bo, Ahmed is going to be a solid piece in the rotation. Thank you very much, and I concur with you fully. Pat, I can't believe he won the 6th round. When you look at him and his stats, he will be a Lion this season. He plays hard. He is a Dan guy for sure. Yeah, I'd hate to be that quarterback to get hit. I'd say 4 to 7 sacks. I'd take that. Yeah, I'd say that's a very good work here. Rondo in North Carolina. Hassanein may be listed as Las Vegas, giving Marcus Davenport's injury history. Yeah, could be a factor. Could be they see something with him. Who knows that part? I don't know. Rock, thinking Ahmed Hassanein will be the reason we haven't signed a big-name defensive end so far. Could be accurate. Maybe they already knew what they have in him or believe what they have in him. Phil, laughing out loud. If you have played ball, you've heard no girls during the season, weakens your legs. Correct with that. Correct indeed. Gary, morning, Brett. There you go. Shop the VTG. I'm driving down to Grand Rapids right now, selling vintage Lions clothes today. Wish me luck. Good luck to you, my friend. Silver Server, Hassanein Manley, you might be right, but I think they named him that because his last name, Hassanein, sounds like that word. All right, I'll go with that. Derek, good morning, Coach and Duku. I think Hassanein will be Rookie of the Year. Bet. Take that bet, my friend. I think it pays out well. Mark, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? JDC, tick, tick, tick. It's woo time. Yes, indeed. Silver Server Day, the Egyptian magician sounds good. The only it is way too long. By the time you finish, call him that. You've done played another couple of downs. All right, I'll take that. Silver Server Terrell Davis, what a player, talent and toughness. He was, man. It really changed that Broncos' fortunes once he emerged. Silver Server, best 6th rounder of all time wasn't Tom Brady at 6. You know what? You might be right there. He might have been a 6th rounder. I believe so, Surfer. You're correct. Yeah, he would probably have to be the king of the 6th round. Rocky, don't forget Tom Brady in the 6th round. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Silver, I love Vaki, but I'm still mad they didn't pick. Yeah, I know you're still mad about that. Who's sitting on the Chargers bench. Lions will see him in the Hall of Fame game, I believe, Coach. If he plays, take a look at him. I will take 2 looks at him even. Henry Moore, congratulations to you, Mr. Hassanein, and you and your family. I know it'll be a great day. There you go. Yeah, it'll be a great day for sure. DM5, 19 days of the Lions preseason Hall of Fame game. I can smell a great season and perhaps a Super Bowl. Go Lions, and hello, Coach Dan. Back at you, DM5. Make it a great weekend for you, my friend. Derek, Hex, I would marry the man for a Super Bowl ring. There you go. We'll see if we can arrange that. Phil, it's pouring here in Traverse City. Yeah, it's bone dry currently, at least here in Kalamazoo. Silver Surfer, by the way, Goff has great knowledge of defense, great short and intermediate accuracy, hangs into the pocket. Lucky to have him, but the boy does not have a strong arm. He needs to feet planted to launch. I'll go with that. Phil, you drove a bus for the Lions, Coach? No, I didn't. I did not. But I remember there was, I can't remember the bus driver's name now, but I think he's still with the team, and he has been for like 40 plus years. Drives guys from the locker rooms basically to the practice fields and vice versa. And yeah, he would just go at anybody who was trying to replace Don Muehlbach. Phil, like and subscribe, please. Yeah, if you guys can, if you haven't, if you would be so kind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Server, I consider a strong arm quarterback somebody who can flick it 50 yards sitting at a school desk. Yeah, there have been some guys who can throw it like 80 yards in the air. Jamarcus Russell, who didn't pan out in the NFL, I get, but that dude had a wicked strong arm. Let's see, Thomas. Let's see, FZ comes back great because I would love to have him, but if he doesn't, Hassanein gets more playing time. Could be accurate. Exclamation mark. I'm good with that too. There you go. DM5. Dan, in your opinion, is AA coming back or is it a holdout trade situation? Question mark. Time is running out. I think he'll be back. I just don't think there's nothing that favors Alex Anzalone holding out. If he holds out at his age, it's just not favorable. I mean, you only have so many seasons in his career. He's getting near the curtain closing on his career. He's probably got, in my best hopes for him, is he got like 3 to 4 years left. Who knows? Maybe more, maybe less. But I think he's going to play out the contract because at the end of the day, even if he's not here, he's got to play somewhere. He's going to need a new contract. Most teams kind of probably frown upon him holding out. All right, Amy, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, congratulations and happy wedding day to your entire Hassanein family. There you go. And always good to see you, Amy. Hookadoo, You could call it A.H. Horus. He's the Egyptian god of power. I'm down with that. Thomas, I'm still concerned about defense tackles. One rookie, one free agent who will play a lot, question mark. There will be key. Got to stay healthy. Yes, 100%. Let's keep them healthy. Silver Server, I saw Brett Favre throw it 87 yards once. That is a strong arm, but we don't need all that. No, it's great to have it, but you probably aren't going to use it that often. And unfortunately, Brett Favre's strong arm won him a 1993 playoff game. Michael, could you imagine D. Smith mentoring Ahmed? Wow, yeah, let's hope we can make that happen. Birds, not Lions, but just got done watching some Russian 5 highlights. Love them, guys. Mess over the limo driver. There you go. Pat, I think Big Z is coming back, and how much would he help Hassanein? I think Big Z would help a huge with that kid. Yeah, I think he would too. Help mentor him and some of the other younger players. Mark GT, over 200 watching, only 70 likes. Smash that like button. Yeah, if you guys can, hit the like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Carrie, Hassim Mari, wish your family a wonderful day and your son a productive life as a Lion. Yeah, I think you're going to get both, hopefully at least. Coach Tiny Kate, court went well, exclamation point, laughing out loud. Glad they didn't put you to sleep. Silver Server Thomas, daughter, you're right, but Detroit did all that and to address the defensive tackle. Drafted the best available. I really like him. He got Lopez and had an engine. Got Levi healthy back. Waiting on Wingo and Smith. Yeah, don't forget about Wingo. He's going to need some time to heal up too. And more, have a great and glorious day, my friends. I have tickets to watch the Superman movie today. Go enjoy it. So it's time to go get ready for the day. Woo! Yeah, I got to talk Jen into going and seeing that, although my guess is she won't go, so I'll probably have to go watch it with some friends. Michael D, thanks for another great podcast, Coach! Exclamation point. Woo! Anytime, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow. Silver Star and Brotherman, don't forget about him. I'm still rooting him on, man. Mark, Goff for MVP. Let that sink in. I will let it sink. Phil, many don't know Goff played most of the year with a severely sprained ankle. Yeah, he had some injuries yesterday, last season. I think now that you watch the Netflix show, you probably are privy to that information, where otherwise the team probably kept that under wraps so nobody would intentionally go after it. Thomas, I would love to see him play the entire Hall of Fame game. We need to know what we have in him. Yes, I won't be surprised if he gets a half, 3/4, something like that, Thomas. Gary, I want to see if Knuckles still has the same power he had last year. Probably going to have to wait for week 1 for that, but we will find out. Thomas, still serve. You're correct, but still concerning. All right, don't go with that. Silver Server, and it was knocked out in the Washington game to complete yet another Lions loss. Goff, that is, following up on Phil. Okay. Johnny V, Detroit Lions will continue to be fantastic at entering all the way to the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah! Exclamation point. Silver Server, man, I forgot about Aleem. He will be back. He will be back in time. Jim, have a great day, crew. Same to you. DM5, buy your Bitcoin, and who's guys, all new time highs and 2,000K in 2026. We'll find out. Phil, thanks for the 7 days show, Coach, and time, man. I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also consider hitting that thumbs up button. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your days. If there is breaking news, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. Be kind to others. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?